But what is going on, guys? I am here with Big Naps, a.k.a. Anthony Napolitano, and we're going to be telling the most overdue story that I think I've ever held back, and it's the story of ViralEcomAdz. And if you know me, you know that I started this business in 2019, partnered with Anthony. We grew it from $510 to $2.5 million in sales in about 2 years. And obviously there's a lot of stories, a lot of different ways that we've grown it, and a lot of different things that we've done. And we are here today to tell this story. And basically our plan is we rented out this very nice podcast studio here in Gilbert, Arizona. And we're just going to talk. And I got slides here that basically remind us of all the things that we've done. And we're going to go at it. So I just wanted to take the note that, like I said, we haven't told this story anywhere. We've kept it pretty low key because of the competition that has came up over time. And everybody I've told even a sliver of this story to, their mind was blown. So you guys are in for a hell of a story. And I hope Anthony's excited to be here. I know we got the heebie-jeebies because we're in this big fancy room and we can hear ourselves in the microphone. It's really weird. But it's probably going to be long. I don't know how long. At least an hour, maybe 2, maybe 3. Depends on how deep we get into these stories. I'm probably going to lose these headphones though.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we're going to start off by introducing ourselves, and then we're going to start talking about the overall, goals and informations about the business, like what we did, how we grew it, all those things. And then we're going to get into some nitty-gritty information. I feel like I've learned some of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in business through this business. So the things we talk about here are 100% going to be applicable to you on the day-to-day if you own a business, or if you're thinking about owning a business one day. 100% listen to this whole story. Just pop this bitch on when you're in the car, driving to work. Just pop it on, listen to it. It'll be worth it, I promise you. All right, so we're going to start this off by kind of introducing ourselves, telling our story, where we came from, and then we'll get into the story of ViralEcomAdz itself, the service, the marketing, how we built the team, all those nitty-gritty details, and also telling some of the greatest stories that we've learned. Some of my biggest lessons have been out of this business, so if you're here, definitely stick around for that. But what we're going to start with is introducing ourselves, and I'm going to let Naps have the store. And I'm going to let Naps have the floor and kind of let him tell his story. And don't be shy, bro. Let it all out. We want to hear where you came from, how you got into e-commerce. I know we have a good villain origin story, me and you. So just let it all out, bro. No rush. We got time. We're kicking it back, cooling it. Let's hang out with these people.
Yeah, so my name is Anthony Napolitano. Everybody knows me as Naps. And I'm from Long Island, New York. And, I started with e-commerce about 7 years ago, started ViralEcomAdz with Noah about 2-3 years ago. And when I got into e-commerce, I was still in school at the time. I was going to college to be an architect. Believe it or not, I actually finished school and became an architect. But, that really wasn't like the path for me. And I figured that out in the middle of college, and I took a risk with e-commerce pretty much. And my risk was, I didn't know what dropshipping was or anything like that. I just kind of saw an opportunity at the time.
How'd you hear about it?
How did I hear about e-com?
YouTube courses, YouTube ads.
Yeah, at the time, I don't think you had a YouTube channel or anything like that. Later on, I started getting into it because I started watching you. But I think I saw a Facebook ad by somebody that I don't even really remember who it was anymore.
How I made $30 million in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was something like that sparked my interest. But it was more of it was a time period where the hoverboards were really hot.
Yep.
So
2016.
At that time, they weren't in stores. The only time that you can buy them was online, and they were $1,000, $1,500.
Yep.
And I really wanted one just for myself. So I decided to find my own supplier to get them really cheap. And then, the minimum order was 10. So I took the risk, spent a couple $1,000s and ordered them so that I could have one for myself. And then I was like, hey, I have a lot of friends. I know there are people that are in the same boat and they'd want to get them too. So, I ordered them to my house, so it wasn't drop shipping. I actually ordered units and took that risk. And then I kind of made a store up too on Shopify. Again, really basic stuff. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, if I ever saw that product page, bro.
Yeah, like none of us did.
Jeez, man.
The early bird product pages.
Dude.
Do not get the worm.
Bro, but like, yeah, so, I ordered them to my house, and I did exactly that. I sold like to my friends, like maybe 6 or 7 of them, and I had 3 or 4 left over. And then like, I'm going to shout out one of my boys from high school at the time. His name is Cody. And what I did with Cody, his sister happened to be Lindsay Lohan. So she had like a lot of influence. At the time, she had like maybe 2 or 3 million followers on Instagram. So what I did was I was like, yo, like, I have these boards. Like, do you want a board? And kind of I'll give Lindsay a board, and, can she put it on her Instagram and, promo starboards?
The influencer god, dude's been doing influencers since day one.
Yeah, back since 2015, bro. And like, that went really well. And actually, like, opened my eyes to what e-commerce was and what it could be,
Big.
And then, it was kind of like a trickle effect because she's like a celebrity. So what I started to get was like emails. Like, I wasn't doing any outreach. Again, I had like no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I started getting emails from other actors and other actresses and athletes. So I started doing
scale,
promos. Baby. Yeah, and like, I had athletes like Jose Reyes and David Ortiz. They were all doing promos on Instagram stories and feeds. And then it was actually on a TV show. So I don't even know if you know this, bro.
No, I've never heard
I really don't know if you know the full story.
I knew you were
like
selling
that.
hoverboards, but I didn't know about Lindsay Lohan or the TV show.
Yeah, so it was a TV show called Fab Life, I think it was. I think it was called.
Interesting.
Something like that. It was Tyra Banks and Chrissy Teigen.
Were these just normal drop shipping, China base level hoverboards, like no private label?
Yeah, no private label.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At this point, when I was on the TV show, though, I got stickers. I never drop shipped them, bro.
Just
so I ordered units.
Yeah,
I put them on the back like starboards.
Yeah, that's
stickers.
Wild, bro. That's wild. 2015 e-commerce was a different beast.
Different, bro. Different. And like, looking back on it, if I knew what I knew now, it would have been so much better than it was then. I mean, dude. But yeah, so like I actually went out to California to be in the set on the show when it was aired.
Were you
and
on the show?
Dude, I turned around. No, I was like in the stands, but like, dude, I turned around and I saw like Chrissy Teigen was like, oh yeah, and like get these starboards for like $400, and I was like,
and you just saw the money go from her lips to your pocket.
What? But yeah, so that was my first like 6-figure brand that I started. We did like 100, 200,000 or something like that in a really short period of time. It was like 4 or 5 months. Didn't last too long.
How many stores you have before that, or was that the first one?
That was my first one.
That is stupid, bro.
Yeah, I had like hit it like right on the head, and like I don't attribute it to me knowing any more than anybody else. I just kind of hopped on the trend, and took the risk there.
You found a good product and you took advantage of it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how it started. So that was like my first 6-figure brand and like intro to e-com. And then, after that, I spent the next like 6 months to a year like figuring out what my next move was going to be.
Yep.
Because like, at the time I ordered all these units. So, I would like ship like 200 boards to my house.
How much were you paying? Per board?
Like 200 or 250, and we were selling them for like $5. And by the time we did the show promo, it was cheap. Yeah, it was cheaper. But yeah, so it was a sick time. But after that, kind of moved on, and I saw another Facebook ad, and it was like, oh, you can start, you can do e-commerce without having to order product.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
So I was like straight like
what?
Product research, like find trends. Find trending products, like, take advantage of that, which is kind of what I already knew.
So you're telling me I've been spending $10,000 on inventory I never even had to? Dude, when drop shipping first hit the scene, that shit was crazy, bro. Everybody was screaming from the hilltops like, you don't even got to get inventory. You don't got to do nothing. I remember it, bro. Like 2015, 2016, 2017 were like big hype because everybody doing e-commerce at the time were like ordering thousands of units and then just eating shit because their products wouldn't sell.
Right.
And then drop shipping came along, and Adrian Morrison was like one of the first people to like really scream it from the hilltops. Like, I don't know if you followed him back then, but
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I saw an ad by somebody who was like John Hayward or something like that. Some like no name dude. And then I like got into it. And like you said, it was in the beginning stages. So like running Facebook ads in 2016 was, pretty easy.
Cake. Straight cake.
So yeah, I had a couple stores then. And then, from that period on, probably like 2017 to 2019 or 2016 to 2019, drop shipping, I probably had 4 or 5 stores. And then I met you. And while I had my stores, I was watching you on YouTube. Just learning to how to run ads and find products and things like that and keep the momentum going. And then, I came in contact with you and, went into your student program. I think you had at the time, right?
The Inner Circle.
Yeah. The Inner Circle. Facts.
What was this?
Exactly what it was.
This had to have been early 2019, right? Because we started VEA September 2019.
Yeah, early 19, and I came to you. I already had a store. It was a pet store, and you didn't fuck with it, bro, because you don't like pets. Yeah, exactly. So you didn't fuck with it, but I had it, and I was like, yo, I'm trying to like scale.
I was like, oh, you got a pet store?
Yeah.
You cat. Yeah. You can do no 6 figures.
Like, believe it or not, bro, I think it was at like maybe like 30 or 40K a month for like 2 months or something like that, and then I was like, yo, what can we do with this?
$2 profit.
And then after that we were like, all right, let's start a new store. We started a new store, found like really cool products and like winning products. I think we had another $30,000 month, and then we were like, all right, let's duplicate this, make another store.
Yeah, like I'll tell my story about having you as a student and what it looked like. Because it's pretty funny. Like, I'll tell it from my perspective. What was it like from your perspective? Like, you joined my mentoring program, which we'll get into all that and what I do and why we started working together. But you joined the mentoring program. How did that work out?
I mean, it was working out pretty well, to be honest.
It was very meh.
I mean, like, I feel like there was a lot of really good products that we found and stores that we scaled. Yeah. Like, it wasn't just like one. Yep. I didn't have a store with you that hit like 100, 200, 300,000 a month. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was
no big winners, just a bunch of small ones.
A bunch of small ones. A lot of good like product research stuff.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah. And then that brings us up to pretty much where we started VEA, right? Like, you started working with me, and then we decided to partner on something, and then that turned into whatever, right? So you want me to take it from here?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'll get into my story. Like I said, I'm not going to get too in depth because I got a lot of stories. I got, other businesses and all this shit. You can check out my YouTube channel or my Instagram, or just send me a message. Like, I'm down to talk to anybody, share my story. Everybody loves talking about themselves. So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but basically in late 2017, I discovered drop shipping and Facebook ads, and basically hired a mentor, got taught one-on-one by this dude who did millions of dollars in sales. And I actually went from a unique perspective. I didn't start a store for myself. I started a agency. I actually already had an agency at the time, and I worked with an e-commerce store. And we did about, 25, 30 grand for the first 3 months that I was working with them, with literally $100 in profit. Like, very minimal profits. Like, that was the first store that I ever worked on. So I went to my mentor and I'm like, bro, is this the strategy? Is this the business? Like, what's causing this? Like, why do we do 30K in sales, but the profit is dog shit? Like, is this just how e-commerce is? And he's like, nah, bro, it's 100% the product. So I'm like, okay, shit, I got to get another product, right? Like, another winning product. And basically took on another client. This was in like January 2018. So like 3 months after I got my first one, took on my second one and found a new winning product like in a week and a half or so, and scaled that winning product to $1,000 a day. This time we had like 20 to 30% profit margins. So much better. And around that time I took on another client, scaled that one to 5K a day in a month. So my first 8 or 9 months in e-commerce, I was basically just taking on clients for profit share only, helping them with their ads, helping them scale. And I did over $1 million in sales throughout like 5 or 6 stores. And that's when I started my YouTube channel. And that whole year, I was just replicating, just rinsing and repeating, taking on a client, taking a percentage of profit share, helping them find a winner, and then scaling it. And that year, the total revenue that I generated was like $2 to $3 million, somewhere around that range. And then late 2018, I actually released a mentoring program. So, before that, I was only doing profit share only management. So it was no mentoring. It was like no bullshit. I was literally just running ads for people for a percentage of profit share. And it was good. Like I think I made like $200K or something from the profit share. So I was making decent money. But I had a partner at the time and he wanted to go his separate way. So I transitioned into the mentoring. And, ever since then, I've generated over $25 million in sales just for my clients, like directly off of the ads that I ran and the ads that I coached other people through running. Obviously, I also own ViralEcomAdz. I also invest in real estate quite a bit. So, I transitioned that into an agency. I've had over 1,300 clients. Most clients we've had at one time is like 110 to 120, like somewhere in that range. That was like in 2020 when drop shipping was like at its peak and everybody was getting their stimulus checks and all this shit. But yeah, that first coaching program I made actually created a lot of successful people. I only did coaching for about a year and a half. And then I stopped it. But during that year and a half, a lot of successful people came out of it. You being one of them. Right. Like one of the first 6 people that joined in ended up doing $1 million in sales. I think I got like $4 or $5 million students, like people that just started from, basically having $3 to $4 grand in their bank account to by the end of it having, multi 6 figures in profit. So really crazy journey. And I'll keep the story related to ViralEcomAdz. So let's talk about big naps and mentoring, right? So I don't remember when you approached me and all this shit. You probably talked to Julia. She probably signed you up on the program.
No, it wasn't Julia, bro. It was you.
It was me?
Yeah.
Damn, you got in early.
It was early. Bro, it was early.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
I know a lot of people listening to this probably talked to Julia, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she signed up the majority of the students and clients that came through. What did you pay? You paid like $500?
Yeah, I think it was 500. It wasn't, because I know we were talking about this the other day, and you started at like 300.
Yep.
For the month.
Disgusting.
Which is
selling
so low, bro.
Mentoring, like this is past the point that I had millions and millions of dollars under my belt selling mentoring for $300 a month for 2 calls a week.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous, not worth my time at all.
Yeah.
And then I upped it to 500, and that's when Anthony came along, and it was dope. Like my perspective of working with Anthony was, like I said, we found winners. Like Anthony was a winner. And it was very clear to me that this dude like knew how to, find a really good product, build the store, test it correctly, scale it correctly. But man, it was really, really annoying because we kept on finding winners. And, I had students at the time doing 5-10K a day, like no problem. And I was trying to get these stores to like 5-10K a day, and we just fucking couldn't, man.
Right.
Like there was always some bullshit that would come up, payment processing.
Yeah.
Ad account disabled, ad disapproved. Like there was always some bullshit. And I'm like, man, this fucking pisses me off. But, Anthony's a winner. So, and I also enjoyed working with him. Like I think we worked together for like 3 to 4 months. We became pretty good friends during that time, just shooting shit on late night calls. And I really wanted to start a business with you. So, that's basically where this started off, because I knew that, this was a cool dude that I got along with, and I had some ideas on how different businesses I wanted to start. So we'll get into the VEA Origin Story next, because we kind of told, Anthony's story, also told a little bit about my story. And we can talk about how VEA actually came to start. So I got like little bullet points here that we can run through. So at the time, when I was actually doing mentoring, I had about 40 students. So anywhere between 30 and 40 students at all times. And we needed one thing. Like there was one thing that we were struggling with, and the one thing was video ads. And blank. Blank. And we needed one thing, and that one thing was video ads. So, we were probably pushing, 2 to 3 products a week per student. So if you think about it, we were testing 100 to 150 products every single week.
Right.
And this is why we're able to generate so much revenue and do so much stuff, because I wasn't just drop shipping for myself. I was working with, 30 to 40 other people who were product testing hella, scaling hella, and we needed video ads. And honestly, I was sick of going to Fiverr and getting, inconsistent quality, like hella grammar issues. Like these videos were shit. Some of them were good, of course. That's why we used them. But it was just inconsistent. And, with my strategies and the way that I do things, I like things being the same. I like it the same every time because I know that it works. And if I test a product with one video ad, I don't have to question, is it the product? Is it the website? Is it the video ad? Was the video ad not good enough? So it's very important to me that I use the same editor for all of my students because I wanted my students to get the best results possible. So I actually went into a Facebook group and I made a post. I said, I have, 30 to 40 people that are ordering, 2 to 3 videos every single week. Who's a video editor? And this is way before we even had the idea of ViralEcomAdz.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was literally just me searching for a video editor to solve my own problem of like not being able to get videos. And this was really interesting. Somebody commented, I'm not going to name drop, but somebody commented and they were like, I can make videos. And I'm like, all right, bet. Got some examples made and just started flooding this dude with videos. Like I'm talking, 30 to 40 a week, possibly more on certain weeks. And they were good. Like they were great. And it worked really, really good for a while. And I knew that this kid was making really good money, just off of this stupid Facebook post that I made. But, over time, the quality dropped, like as we started sending more videos and I got more students and they were testing more products, the quality went downhill.
Yeah, delivery time too.
Delivery times were getting to be like 1 week, 2 weeks. And I was like, man, this is stupid. Like this is honestly pissing me off. So we dropped them. And there's a couple different things that happened after this point that set ViralEcomAdz up to be started. And I'll kind of run through those. So after we dropped that editor, obviously I had to find a new one. Mm-hmm. But I knew that editor was pulling in like, $3,000 to $5,000 a month, which I mean is not a lot of money, but at the time, like literally just for editing videos is a lot of money. Like I think the kid was like 17 or 18. He was, balling out. So it was around this time as well that me and Anthony were like, let's do something together, and
yeah, it was we were looking at it and we were like, hey, we didn't have the idea for the video editing yet, or maybe it was like simultaneously.
Nah, it was a totally different thing.
So yeah, we started a company, barely got it off the ground.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Bro.
We got to though.
Yeah.
So I had another problem, right? Because not only were the video ads something that we needed, but we also needed products. Right. And one of the biggest things that I would do with my students is they would find products, and then I would review their product lists and tell them which products are good, which products are bad. Super simple, right? But I knew that most of my students and a lot of people from my YouTube channel and audience really valued my opinion on what products are good, what products are bad. So, I had this idea of just doing an ungodly amount of product research for myself and then pre-approving products and then selling those products to my students and to different people in my audience so that they could basically just test products that are already approved by me, and then they could have a higher chance of finding a winning product. So that's when me and Anthony got together and we're like, we're going to get some VAs to do product research, and then I'm going to review the product list, and then we're going to sell each product for like, I don't know, $30 to $40, something like that. Yeah. So we were going to sell like 10 products where they could get 10 products pre-approved by me for $40, and it ended up being a total disaster. Like straight horrible. Probably the worst business I've ever started because I was, doing product research all day. And, of course, we got clients. Like, people were, begging me to give them products to sell, right? So that wasn't the problem. The problem was it just wasn't scalable because I had to find every product. Yeah. And we couldn't give the same product to multiple people because then it just creates competition. So straight disaster. Made like $1,000, which is actually where the original $500 came from that we started ViralEcomAdz with. So if you remember in the beginning of this, we said that we started with $510 and ended up at, where we're at today. That's what funded that, right? So me and you actually have $0 invested into this. Zero. So we started from zero with Pioneer Product Research. That was the name, by the way. We never even said the name.
PPR.
Pioneer Product Research. Dumbest shit ever. I mean, it's a good name. Yeah. It's a good name because at the time, I was pushing the whole Pioneer method thing. And but yeah, we have $0 in this, and that's where the starting funds came from. But surprisingly enough, I never actually had the idea for ViralEcomAdz at this point. We had Pioneer Product Research. I actually approached another student of mine. And this was another student of mine who was doing like 5 to 10K a day. His name was West. A lot of you, if you've been following me for a long time, probably remember him because I've interviewed him. I've worked with him. I met up with him in Miami. Super cool dude. Obviously a winner himself, did great revenue. And I was like, yo, bro, why don't you start this video editing thing, hire a VA? And I basically built this dude a business. I was like, he wanted to call it Dropship Vids Fast. If you can go to Google right now and look it up, his logo's still on there. It's funny as hell. And he basically did exactly what I should have done. I was just lazy at the time, right, or something. I just wanted somebody else to do it. And he put together Dropship Vids Fast, and their whole thing was 24-hour delivery.
Right.
And that was the problem that we were having before, was like 1 week delivery, 2 week delivery. So he's just like, you know what, fuck all these guys. I'm going to come out with 1 day delivery, get the VA to work fast and whatnot. And he was great, man. Like the videos that he was pumping out were absolutely smashing it with the ads. But of course, what do you know? One day, just videos started coming out, dog shit, like
all
terrible. And I'm like, West, what is going on, bro? And he's like, oh man, my main editor, dropped off and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I can't keep going through this because I got hella students that need videos. And if they come out bad quality and I recommended them there, then it makes me look bad. It just wasn't a good scenario. So that's when ViralEcomAdz became a thing. And that's where I was like, fuck this. Nobody can do this shit right. So I'm going to do it myself. And I'm like, well, I don't have the time for this. I'm coaching, 40 students and running this agency and doing all this. So I'm like, who's the best partner? Big Naps. Big Naps, right? I love calling him Big Naps. It's funny as hell. But yeah, that's where ViralEcomAdz came along. So we still had Pioneer product research. We weren't really doing much with it. But I think you made a product page for a video ad, just like one single video ad, and we were selling it for $30 or $40.
Yep.
And then we got an order. And then we fulfilled that order. And I mean, the rest is history, baby.
Yeah.
Like we noticed, like what happened was we noticed that we got an order and we didn't have to do literally anything to fulfill it.
Right.
And the video came out great. The videos were performing great. And we'll get into there's definitely more to the story on how we tested the editor and found an editor and built a team, shit like that. We'll get into that later. 100% going to come back to that. But we noticed okay, if somebody pays $40 for a product, it takes an hour of my time. But if somebody pays $40 for a video, we just push it off to one of our team members and it's super easy. So eventually it was hard to do, but we were just like, fuck Pioneer product research. We're going to start ViralEcomVids.
Vids.
If
Viral
you're a real
OG,
vids.
you know what Vids is.
If you are a real OG, you know about ViralEcomVids. And we'll get into why we changed our name and that whole story as well. And that's basically...
So time frame on it, this was September of 2019.
Yeah.
First order.
September 6th. So basically 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah, basically 3 years ago when we first started it. And since we kind of got through, and like I said, we had a $510 starting balance. I think it's worth noting because we literally didn't spend any of our own money on this business. We kind of grew slow in the beginning, let some money stack up, and then reinvested. But let's talk a little bit about the initial expectations of ViralEcomVids, or ads now, and what we were kind of expecting out of this business. Because what we were expecting and what happened were two completely different fucking things.
Yeah.
Polar opposites. Because obviously we ended up turning this into a multi-7-figure agency, and we got a studio, and we did so much shit. But in the beginning, bro, do you want to tell them what the expectation was?
I mean, when we were walking into it, like you said, it was just to solve your own problems. I still had my own store, so I was like, all right, lit. I know my videos are gonna be good. They're gonna be fast. You're using it for your students. Just solving that problem. It was all organic like that. But from our side, we were like, bro, make another 1,000 a month.
1,000 a month, bro.
2,000.
I remember.
Maybe,
I remember going to you, and I was like, look, bro, you just have to do a little bit of management work, and you're gonna make an extra $1,000 a month, maybe two, right? If we really crush it. And that was the expectation, bro.
Yeah.
And my goal was to just grow the business and,
use.
Dude, just push my students to the business. Obviously, recommend people use it. And then Anthony was going to manage the whole thing. Manage the team, the website, the orders, fulfillment. You even did a lot of marketing. And that was the original relationship and the original expectation, which is a crazy starting point because you can imagine the time where we realized what this business could actually be was like a fucking click.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit, we got something. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But I got on my notes here. We're going to get into our actual partnership right now because I feel like it's the perfect time. Because most partnerships, you know, you always hear about like, oh, don't start a business partnership. Don't do. They always fail. You guys don't agree. Man, this has been the best fucking relationship of my life, bro.
Straight
Like,
homies. Straight homies from like the beginning. Like really good relationship before even getting into anything. And you know, I don't know about you, but like I've had other partnerships in the past, like startup partnerships. That didn't really work out. They don't pan out. You know, the visions don't align. Like, you know, the expectations, like you were saying, you know, weren't set right. But, you know.
I have had other businesses with partners before this, and those also worked out. Like I said, when I first started in e-commerce, I had a partner. You know, his name was Dennis. We're still homies to this day. He decided to go separate ways. So that's all that happened there. It was a great partnership. I would have kept it going if he wanted to stay. But, man, we should talk about the dynamic of the partnership, the expectations. Like, why do you think we've had such a successful partnership?
Yeah, I think it has to come down to like being straight up in the beginning of like what your responsibilities are, what my responsibilities are, and sticking to it.
Yeah.
Not trying to like, you know, go into what you're supposed to do and you trying to mess with what I'm trying to do. Like we're doing it together, obviously, but like, you know, sticking to the responsibilities of what we're, you know, good at and what we're supposed to be doing. So I think that was a good part in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think 90% of it was definitely the expectations up front, which was basically like, hey, I'm going to paint the vision and, you know, tell you what we need to do, and then you're going to do it. And I would say, like, from an equality standpoint, it's been a pretty even relationship. Like, there's definitely been moments where, you know, Naps is putting in 100% or 110%, and I'm putting in, like, 30. But, you know, I feel like the different value is provided in different ways, right? Because I'm a little bit more experienced with business. I got a lot of connections that have helped the business, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. So it's just been a great partnership. Like, I don't feel like it's been uneven at all, other than obviously you doing a lot more legwork. But I feel like what you do in legwork, I make up in experience and advice and vision. Like, I fucking love painting visions, which we'll talk about our vision at the end of this podcast, which I'm super excited for no reason at all, just because that's who I am. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, partnerships are great, man. You just got to do them right.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of wrong ways to do them. Like, the wrong way to do them is just find somebody who you think is going to be somebody, and then they end up not being that person. And me and Anthony were working like 4 or 5 months together beforehand. I already knew I liked him. And there's definitely some, like, right place, right time. But I feel like we did it in the right way, where we just set expectations up front. And we actually have this contract. You want to talk about the contract a little bit?
Oh, my God, the contract.
The contract. Yep. I can pop it up on the screen. I might do it. I might not. Sure. But it's crazy, man. It's like a Google Doc, and it's like Noah Brewer and Anthony Napolitano are partnering on pioneerproductresearch.com. The starting balance is $510, and, you know, the date was like September something.
Yeah, like 4th, September 4th.
Yeah, September 4th or 6th, and it was super specific. It was basically like, you know, Anthony is responsible for this, and this, and Noah's responsible for this, and this, and it ended up being completely fucking different. Yeah, but we just wanted to lay out the expectations up front and just be clear. Super cool, man. I kept that file on a hard drive, and I'm never gonna lose it because it's hilarious, but it's also a really great memory. Yeah.
You know, side note too, just because you're talking about it, like documenting the journey from the beginning is so sick to look back on. Yeah. You know, whether you're starting like any business, like you don't know how long it's going to be, you know, around for, but to document everything and like keep everything and then look back on it 2, 3, 5, 10 years later is like, you know, mind blowing.
Yeah. So. And I brought some files with me of some of the things that we've done on the way of growing this business, which I'll be sharing with you guys, you know, on the screen or whatever. And yeah, anytime I like write something down or take a video or a picture or make a picture, I always store it in files, man. I have like 3 hard drives, bunch of information. I was literally just showing Anthony files from 2015, 2016 when I first started my agency. I was building websites, doing cold calling, like really crazy shit. But I know we already touched on this a little bit, but we got to talk about the reason we started with more intention, because I feel like when you hear most stories about businesses, there's always a unique reason why people start them and how they got the idea to do it and whatnot. And we definitely have a unique position on that. So you want to give a little bit of info on that? Like, I feel like when most people start a business, they have an idea and they do it. And our biggest perspective was basically solving our own problem. And we mentioned this before, but we can talk about this more because we were really in the game. Like, when we started out, we were just doing e-commerce and testing Facebook ads. Like, we were not content guys. I know a lot of other content agencies in this space are people who specialize in production and video editing, and that was not us. Like, we ran this whole business without editing a single video. So we came from the perspective of, like, we really do this shit, and we're only doing this shit to solve our own problems. And there just happens to be 30,000 other people out there with the same problem as us, which is what turned it into such a successful business. But in the beginning, man, it was really a unique way to start a business because I know a lot of you are in businesses and you have problems. And you can solve those problems for yourself and then in turn potentially turn it into a business if there's enough people out there with that same problem, which I just thought was super unique and worth mentioning because it lays the foundation. And I think it's really important to mention that we are not video editors.
Right, we're e-commerce.
We are not content creators. We are marketers, period. And I think that's what you want.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you want, right? Like when you're hiring, when you own an e-commerce store and you're hiring a content agency, I mean, if you're trying to make the video look nice, maybe you want, somebody who's really good at production. But if you want a video that makes you money,
sales.
You need company owners that actually have experience in making money, right? And I feel like, man, we just filled a hole.
Yeah.
Like, we filled a hole. There was a hole in the market of these guys that were making these stupid little videos, that didn't convert, that didn't do this. And we just came in like, bro, like, fuck the way the video looks.
Right. No
Nobody
strategy
cares
behind it either.
Well, we had a strategy, but no production strategy.
Yeah. I mean, from our perspective, like, and we'll go into it when we go on how we like train the editors, but we have a whole formula on that we figured out since we're e-commerce people, figured out what's supposed to come first, second, last.
Yeah, bro, the formula
of the puzzle.
The formula was already there before we started.
Right.
Because we were already making money with it.
Right.
Like, we were literally already making money with the service that we were not even selling yet. Anyways,
talking about the money.
Yeah, we can talk about the money. So we could talk about the initial growth curve because we talked about the initial expectations for the business, and we'll kind of see how that played out. So like I said, when we brought on those editors from the Facebook post and also my other student, they were doing like $3,000 to $5,000 a month with the video editing. So that's fully what we were expecting. Just $3,000 to $5,000 a month. We just manage it, put the team together, make sure we deliver a quality product, and boom, done. But what actually happened was quite different. So I have the revenue figures from the first 4 or 5 months that we actually started right here. And, we lived this, but I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can. Or Naps, do you want to take it ahead?
Yeah, so, we started on September 2019.
Yep.
First month right out the gate, 3,500 in sales.
Yeah. Well, September we did 2,600, but that was like a partial month. That was like the last 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. So it was somewhere around there. And again, just keep in mind for the whole thing that like there was no marketing, no ad spend,
no marketing,
nothing,
like straight up just
word
me
of
telling,
mouth and
me telling my students go buy this.
So we went from like 3,500 up to almost $6,000 the next month, then almost $10,000 the next month, and 13,000 for the month in, I think that was February of 2019.
Yeah.
2022. Sorry.
Yeah. If you say it fast, it sounds not that impressive, but let's break it down. Because we were not marketing, no ads, nobody knew who we were. And we went from, $3,000 a month, I feel like was the standard of what I was personally recommending to the business. And nobody else was recommending anything to the business. I think I mentioned on my YouTube channel a little bit. So when we did 5,700 the next month, we were like, yo.
What's happening?
How do we do that? Right? Because I'm only sending 3, maybe 4K worth of business, but we did 5,700. So I'm like, hang on. Where's this coming from? And then I think we did like another month where we did like 5,700, something like that. And then we did 9,600 in a month. And I was like, what? Like, there's no way that my students spent $9,600. Like I had 30 to 40 students. Mm-hmm. but there's no way that they were spending that much money on video ads. So we went into the orders and we were discovering that people that, number one, we didn't even know. Like, I had no idea who these people were or where they came from. Like, zero clue. We're buying videos, and not just like one video, like 2, 3, 5 packs, 10 packs, spending hundreds of dollars on our website. Zero marketing, 100%, just me telling my initial students to go and buy from them. And another thing that's crazy that happened was I would have a lot of people join my mentoring for 1 month, 2 months, and then they would leave. They would basically learn everything they needed to learn and then leave. But when they left, I stopped making money from them, but ViralEcomAdz didn't.
Right.
They stuck with ViralEcomAdz. So what was happening month after month after month was I was churning in new students, recommending new students, and the students would leave me, but they would stay with VEA.
Yeah, we retain the clients.
They would stay with VEA. And this is where we were like, bruh, this is fire. Because we went from $3,500 to $13,000 in a single month with zero marketing.
Right.
And I think another source of revenue was people posting in Facebook groups. You know, I started having my students recommend it to other people. So we were getting orders from people we had no idea where they were. I'm assuming they came from another Facebook post where somebody was like, yo, where do I get video ads? And then one of my students or one of our other clients would just comment our name. And then people would just go to our site to buy the shit because nobody was doing it.
Right.
Like, the only way to get these video ads was to go on Fiverr, period.
Or edit it yourself.
Yeah,
or
edit.
Taking a lot of time.
Most people were editing them themselves, and then if they were really balling, they would go to Fiverr, which Fiverr was like $15 to $20 per video, mostly with grammar mistakes and all this stuff.
Structure.
Yeah, we were selling them for $40. So you paid a little bit more than Fiverr, but you got a proven strategy. You got, videos that were made by proven guys, like people that are actually making money in e-commerce, so it was valuable.
Yeah, and at the time when we hit 13,000 in February, that was the same time that I met you for the first time.
Yep.
That's when I came down to Arizona to your first house, Columber.
Yep.
And
you leaving my addresses?
And we were up in the office, dude. I remember, and we were just like, bro, we just did 5 figures this month.
Yeah. Yeah. 10K.
Like what is going on?
Yep.
We need to put more focus into this
and
like see where this is going because we don't even have anything on the gas pedal right now.
Yep. So we had the goal. We had the goal of literally just stacking money, right? So we weren't pulling shit. We were not pulling money out of this. So when we did 3,500, our profit, like, I don't know, I don't want to get into margins, but, we were making money and just not touching it. So, we kept it in the business and the business account was just stacking up and stacking up. So we were basically at a point where we had, a few $1,000s at this point to, reinvest. We just didn't know what to reinvest in. Like, do we start running ads? Do we start doing this? Do we start doing that? And this is what I like to call the great reinvest, because at this point, we were doing about 10 to 13K a month, 100% organically, no ads, like just straight profit, right? Obviously minus our team costs and whatnot. And you want to go into like what we actually ended up investing in and how it ended up panning out for us?
Yeah, so it's actually funny because like if you go back to my story, I started with influencers.
Yep.
And that's all I did.
Yep.
So we were just like, all right, where are dropshippers most apparent?
Yep.
And they're on YouTube learning.
Bro, they're straight watching YouTube all day,
learning
every day.
all day.
All the e-com gurus were popping.
So we were like, hey, we know these guys. We have networked with these guys. Let's run influencers and try out, we tried out some like smaller guys and bigger guys. And in the beginning, we looked at it and we had an opportunity. And, we took it with, at the time, one of the bigger guys in the space.
Definitely the biggest, big man, Sebastian Georgiou.
Yeah.
The king. Dude, this guy was a blessing. Like a blessing, not in disguise, man. We knew it. And the reason we knew it is because I figured, like, look, if I'm able to grow this business at 10K a month, I think I had like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers on YouTube at the time. Like, and that's where I was promoting it to my student base as well. I was like, imagine we had somebody with 20,000 or 30,000. So at this point, we were basically already just reinvesting into what we already knew. So we approached Seb and we knew him through mutual friends. I think Hayden was homies with him, and you know, we let him know like, yo, we own ViralEcomAdz, and we edit videos. Like nobody knew what we were doing.
Yeah, it was
right?
brand new to everybody.
Like now when we reach out to people, we're like, we own ViralEcomAdz, and they already know what's up. But back then, man, we had to explain like, oh yeah, we sell video ads for drop shippers and this and that. And you know, Sebastian was down, bro, and it was kind of a big jump for us. Like it was a lot of money for us. It was basically all the money we had in our bank account at the time.
Risked it all.
And we basically sent it all to Sebastian, and he was popping at the time. Absolute blessing, bro. Yeah. So this was the month that we did 13,000 when we ran Seb.
Yeah. So in February, it was 13,000 for the month. We ran Seb the next month, I think it was.
Yep.
And instantly jumped to like 30 grand for the month.
$1,000
days.
$1,000 a day.
A single promo. And you know, at that point, we looked at each other like, one,
holy shit,
we gotta do this again.
Crazy.
Two, we got a whole lot of people that, you know, need this service.
Yeah.
And you know, we got to get out there and
lot of people
do a lot more of this. So.
And Seb did an amazing job promoting it.
Seb did.
Yeah, Seb did, right? Hey, they didn't believe in us. Seb did. Seb 100% believed in us and was 100% a big part of the story, and lots of other people too, which we'll 100% be shouting out. Yeah. But man, what a fucking crazy time, because me and you were fresh meeting up with this idea, and I remember sitting on the couch at my house, at that old Columber house, great house, built some businesses there, VEA being one of them.
VEA.
And, you know, sitting on the couch and being like, man, are we really about to pay this much money for a 30-second fucking promo in a YouTube video?
Contemplating it.
and you know, me and Naps just looked at each other like, yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
it.
we're about to run this shit.
Fuck it.
Right? And we had no clue what was going to happen, but we were confident because of what happened for me. And just like, whoa, man, what a moment. And then when we saw that 30K come in, that was the click. That was the click where it was like, okay, like this is not like a make an extra 1 to 2K a month thing anymore.
Right.
Like this is like kick your ass into gear and scale the fuck out of this business, right? That's basically what it was. And definitely a huge shout out to Seb, and that was the great Reinvest, and definitely set us up.
Oh God.
Oh God. Oh God. So I just flipped the slide, and the title of this one is The Lawsuit. We didn't actually get sued, but we definitely had some drama. And should we name drop the company? Oh, we might blur that out. Yeah, I want to out of vengeance, but I'm probably not going to because I feel like it's fucked up. But you guys will know who we're talking about just based on the, you know, what actually happened. So you want to tell the story?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, I don't know if it was
Start with Seb.
I don't know if it was that first promo with Seb or
it was.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
So in that promo, you probably go back to the YouTube video and check it out, honestly. Mm-hmm. He promoted us for like a video editing service, and then, you know, that other company for custom content, because at the time we weren't doing any custom content. And, you know, that was just like a blessing for them. Mm-hmm. You know, there was nothing there. It was just like an organic promotion from Seb.
Yep.
But, you know, after that promo, we were ViralEcomAdz at the time.
Yep.
And they emailed us like...
With a Z.
Yeah, with a Z.
With a Z.
Everything we do is with a Z.
Yep.
But, yeah, they emailed us, and, like, the owner of the company emailed us and was like, hey, like, you know, your name sounds too much like our name.
Right.
And...
was in direct violation
of a trademark.
Of our trademark.
And...
so the reason this fucked me up so much...
bro.
The reason this fucked me up so much is because, number one, we paid mad money for this promotion. And at the time, we were just editing videos. And we weren't doing custom content. But Sebastian wanted to promote custom content. Perfectly understandable. So he's like, yo, do you mind if I shout out this other company who's kind of competition, but not really, right? Not at the time, because we weren't doing custom content and they weren't doing editing. And we were like, yeah, bro.
Fine.
Like, hook them up. Like, sure. let's push some power to them, too. Like, we're trying to be homies with other people in the industry. And, you know, he posts the promo, and they obviously see it, right? They obviously see that they got this beautiful promo from Sebastian, and they probably made a bunch of money off of it as well. At least I hope so. And their first inclination was to reach out to us and tell us that we have to change our name.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, and the thing that I thought about when I saw that, I was like, do they think that, like, we're only going to be good because we're similar in names?
Yeah, bugging.
Like, we trying to, like, take their clout kind of a thing?
Bro. Yeah.
And, like, me and you turned around and were like, all right, change the name.
Change the name.
Because what does the name mean? Name's shit.
Name don't mean
it's
shit.
Us and the service and our system and what we have,
Yep.
And no joke, if you've been with us for that long, you probably got that email where, we were
I got that email.
2 or 3 days later, we changed it to ViralEcomAdz.
Dude, the greatest thing is there was no hesitation, and because it was just a basic business decision, right? Like we were like, man, it sucks. We don't want to change your name, but fuck it, right? Like name doesn't mean anything, and the fact that they got hurt over it literally just shows that we were a threat.
Right.
Like they felt threatened 100% by our presence, and maybe they were just mad that we had a kind of similar name to them. But I mean, that was a bitch move. Like honestly, if you own a business and you're worried about shit like that, you're worried on the wrong thing.
And from that day, they were number 1 on the hit list.
Hit list.
Number 1 on the hit list. They were not even on there at all. Nobody was on there. But boom, right at the top.
Yeah, we had no beef, bro. We had no beef, and then we're like, you know what? We're gonna put these guys out of business, and we're gonna change our name and do it anyways. Like, bro, you're not gonna stop us with a trademark. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Yeah. We run this shit, and that's another company that's ran by videographers, and I knew that.
Right.
I'm like, bro, you guys don't even do e-commerce. Like, maybe you had a couple successful stores, but whatever. All right, let's move on. That was a funny little story, but the scale. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about scaling ViralEcomAdz to $1 million our first calendar year. So, first calendar year because September to September, sadly, was not $1 million. But January 2020 to December 2020 was $1 million. So this was my first time building a business and doing $1 million in the first year. I think it's a cool little thing to say, kind of a I made it moment. But you want to read that first line for me?
We went from 13,000 to 155K in 6 months.
Boom.
6 months.
6 months. And we have a lot that we can talk about here.
I think we doubled our revenue every month for like 3 or 4 months in a row. Like 30, 60.
Yep. Because right after we ran Seb and, we did that 30K in revenue, we're like, look, man, we have to run this up. Like, Seb did 30K. Like, imagine we had 10 Sebs, 300K a month. We never reached 300K a month, but we're dudes with vision. We got ambition. We want to do as much as we can. So we actually partnered. I don't know if I have a slide that tells this story later on. I think I do, but we'll tell it right now because it had a lot to do with the scale. Remember my partner Dennis that I told you about earlier on? D White. He came back. He's back in the game, brother. We took him on for ViralEcomAdz. And he actually helped us scale influencers. So he started reaching out to other YouTubers, other people in the space, using his connections to get other people. And that is literally how we scaled. Still didn't run any ads.
Not a single ad.
Not a single ad. 100% influencers, 100% reaching out to other YouTubers, which, by the way, was so fun. Like, e-commerce YouTubers are amazing people, bro. Like, they're super fun to hang out with, super fun to talk to because we're kids.
Network to build. Great.
Yeah. Because we're kids. Like, we're just trying to have a good time and make the internet monies. That's all we're trying to do. So it was a great time. But, Dennis went hard as shit. And Dennis had probably the biggest impact on ViralEcomAdz, period.
Yeah, for sure.
And, he definitely got paid for it. And he's definitely getting the recognition for it. Like, dude's an absolute killer with influencers. And we ran a lot of different influencers, which we're going to name drop a lot of them because I just want to show my appreciation for them, actually trusting us with their audience. And I like to think we treated their audiences quite well, which our returning customer rate would back that up. Anyways, we just fresh off a bathroom break there. But let's get into the service itself because we've talked a lot about how the business came along and this and that, but we never actually talk about the actual service. And this is probably the most important part. And I feel like part of the reason we were able to dominate this industry because our service is much different than, even what our first editor was doing and even what the second editor was doing or Fiverr does. And I can get into this, or do you want to talk about it? How do you want to split this up?
You can start here and I'll talk about the team.
All right, cool. So number one, I have a few bullet points, things that I think are important to know and share, things that I want to share. Things that I'm very proud of because obviously when you own a business, you want to create a good service, right? That's like one of the most important things. That's how you get word of mouth. That's how our returning customer rate is so high. I think we're sitting at like 24% lifetime returning customer rate, which is higher, by the way, because a lot of people have multiple emails.
Right.
So like we'll have the same customers, buy with multiple emails so that they can use different discounts and shit like that. I'm mad annoying, but whatever. Let it slide a little bit.
It's a nice stat, though, just like complimenting the service, though.
Yeah.
Customer experience.
Yeah. So the first thing that was very important to us that actually goes back before we even started ViralEcomAdz or ads, is that it was very, very, very important to me that every single video we put out was proven to convert. And if you go to our website, you will see proven to convert all over the place. That's our tagline. That's our slogan. I think that's what they're called. And basically what that meant to me was that before I sell a video editing service, I have to test the video editing service myself and actually make money with it. And the reason this was important is because to me, everybody else was just like, oh, as long as it looks good, it's fine. Mm-hmm. The problem is I'm not a videographer. I don't give a shit how it looks. So if what works is a bad looking ad, then that's what we're going to sell because it works, right? We don't have bad looking ads, right? But that's just my point. Like I'm coming from that perspective. So in the beginning, man, I'll ask you, how hard was it to find a good editor?
Oh, man, we tried probably
months.
40, 50, 60 different editors,
Took months.
Just trying to train them.
So what we would do is we would actually hire an editor, and, we were mostly working in the Philippines. Yep. But this was early on, so we were also testing out Fiverr itself. We were testing out Upwork. There are a couple other websites, I'm sure. And our strategy was to have them edit 5 videos.
Yeah.
And then I would personally test those videos through my students with their stores.
Yeah, we would actually test them.
Yeah. Actually go out there, test products with these things. And then if I was able to find a winning product, get something to actually be profitable, then that editor would get a green light in our book, right? So not only were we just hiring editors that just knew how to edit, no, we were testing the videos that they were editing, which is an insane amount of diligence. Nobody else did this. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to communicate to your end consumer that you do this much testing. Most people don't even know how important it is. But if you go to our testimonials section on our website, you'll see our videos make money.
Yeah.
They're proven to convert, and it's not on accident.
Right.
No way.
Goes back to that structure too.
Bro, we tested lots of editors, and we finally found our holy grail. We'll get into our holy grail editor in a minute, but that's very important for me to say, and it's very important for you to know because, most people don't do that kind of shit for their businesses, and that's the kind of person that I am. Another thing to keep in mind, obviously the speed of delivery was very important, but another thing that was very important, especially with working with influencers, was to never miss a delivery.
Right.
Because the thing with influencers is it's not like ads. If you're just running ads to grow your business and you fuck something up, it's on you. But if you're using influencers to grow your business, you're almost making the influencer look bad.
Yeah, look bad.
If you fuck up, you make them look bad. And I don't want
recommendation, So.
Yeah, I don't want to do that to Sebastian. I don't want to have somebody support us and then go out of their way to promote us. Even if they're getting paid, it's still I still appreciate it. And then have them get complaints and this and that. So super important that our systems were down. And me and Naps put a lot of work into this, mostly Naps. Absolute genius. And I will say, we never missed a single delivery out of 30,000 videos. Let me say that again. Actually, you say it.
Not one video missed.
Not one.
Out of 30,000. That's a lot of videos.
A lot of videos.
A lot of videos. And then we missed one.
And then we did miss one.
And kept going.
But I will say, if you're out there and you're like, oh, early stages, ViralEcomAdz, I ordered a video and I didn't get it.
You fucking
got it. You fucking got it. Let me tell you something. We had a lot of people email us like, yo, I haven't gotten my video. It's been 3 days. 100% of the time, we would check and we delivered it. But it would go into their spam box.
Yeah, sometimes.
That was a big problem that we couldn't avoid. But when people did complain about not getting their videos, 100% of the time it was in their spam box, except for this one time. This one dude slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I'd say that's pretty good.
I think it's also worth noting. It's also worth noting that we automated our systems with Sheets and Zapier, which we'll get into later on.
Oh my God, dude.
And one time, early on, I'm pretty sure that when we did our first $30,000 month, Zapier shut down.
Yeah.
And we lost 300 orders.
Yep.
And we had to manually do all the transitions to the editors, and we still didn't miss a single video.
Yeah.
So definitely worth noting, and we did an incredible job with that.
Yeah.
Even though There have been people that have reached out saying they haven't got their videos. 99.999% of germs are killed with this bacteria. 99.999% of times your video is delivered. All right? Straight up. We already got into basing every package on our real strategies. The whole proven to convert thing meant a lot to me. And obviously being on the front end of drop shipping and, testing a lot of products, scaling a lot of products, I was constantly testing new things. So we started with just one video ad, $30, $40. And eventually we started releasing new packages. We started innovating in the industry, and we started innovating with a split testing package,
right,
which was instead of paying $40 for one video, you could pay $60 and get 4 videos. And the only thing different was the first 5 seconds.
Right.
So it's a different scroll stopper. And the reason we have this package is because we had the editors whip them up, and then I went and tested them with my students, and they worked. They were profitable. They worked better. So once we saw that they worked, we created a package on our website. Same thing with animations. One of my students at the time, Brooks, ended up doing like $2.5 million in about 6 months on his store. And one of the things that we tested was animations. If you go to our website, we have 2D animations. This is basically where we take an image and we add, text to it. We make it look really cool. Go to the website and check it out. They're really awesome. We tested these with that kid Brooks, and we scaled his store to $20,000 a day, I think in like 3 or 4 days, using nothing but animations.
Right.
So we added that to the website. Thumbnails. Giving thumbnails with the videos so that people could set thumbnails on their ads. So if somebody's scrolling down their Facebook feed, they would see the picture. So we made custom thumbnails. Combo ads. So taking a video, a normal video ad, combining it with an animation. These slapped. Did so well.
Yeah, they were a big hit.
So, this was obviously something we tested, performed really, really well, threw it on our website. I believe one of our biggest supporters of the combination ads was Hayden.
Definitely.
Hayden Bulls.
Yeah.
I think we might have made that package for him specifically.
Right. And the key here is that we tested all of this stuff beforehand. It's not like we whipped it up, put it out there and started selling it. We took, weeks, months just to, figure it out, get our editors right, make sure that the content's right and it
Test
works.
it. Test it.
Make sure that it
makes
makes
money with it.
Makes money.
Yep.
Forget
so
views.
when we released a new package, bro, it was not a new package. It was a new strategy.
Right.
It was a whole new strategy that worked. Which was great because anybody following us and anybody listening to our marketing, they probably didn't even know that they were buying into this strategy, this proven thing, and then they would end up making money and wonder why. That's why. Yeah. That's why. Leading the industry. I think this is worth noting because around the time where we started doing, $100K a month, somewhere around there, man, ViralEcomAdz.com,
everything
this and that,
up.
Every single, different variation of our name started popping up, right? Because we're targeting drop shippers, and these people are literally bred to copy people. So lots of copycats. And the reason we call them copycats is because they copied our every move. Probably a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to knock them for it. But it was cool leading this industry because before we started ViralEcomAdz, there were no other agencies that did video editing for drop shippers. So we were literally, the first guys to come out and especially with these custom packages. If you go to any of our competition, they got the split testing.
Yeah.
They got the thumbnails. They got the combo ads, right? They got all the things that we have. They even have the VIP program.
Yeah.
We made a VIP program, which we'll talk about later on. Actually, I have it right here to talk about it right now. We made a VIP program that basically allowed our loyal customers to pay a small monthly fee and save money on every single one of their orders. And they also got priority support and guaranteed 1-day delivery.
Yeah.
Most fire service, best thing we've ever done because we were able to give our loyal customers, which also increased our returning customer rate, a good discount and also way better service.
Right. Speed of testing for them,
Bro,
too.
all the copycats, the second we released our VIP program, all the copycats were join our crew.
Yeah, dude, it
join
was
our
crazy.
gang.
I mean, it was days after.
Bro,
it was
days.
It was like they had somebody watching our site just to see what we tweaked.
I swear to God, we always make jokes. There was this one competitor that the next day, we would put up a package and the next day it would be on their website. We always made jokes dude, this guy has either a VA or a Zapier or something that tells him whenever we do something, and then the second we do it, he just copies it. Either that or he checks our website every day and just copies every move we make. Like I said, probably smart to do because we ended up making a bunch of money. But anyways, we also have UGC now. And UGC didn't come around until, I don't know, a year and a half.
Yeah, a year ago.
Like a year and a half, 2 years in.
Yeah. And that leads back to like the innovating too.
Absolutely.
Like consistently innovating, like never being complacent on the packages and things that we're selling, and just always looking at what the next thing is that's
popping.
Not gonna just make sales and stuff, but like get orders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not just like a new package to come out just to come out with a new package. We're just coming out with a new service that a new video ads that actually work. You know?
Yeah, because I'm on the front end of e-commerce, actually testing products, actually scaling stores. So I'm constantly, up to date on what's working. So we were constantly updating our packages, updating our strategies, this and that. Everything changed with it. And when UGC came along, man, it was good. Like UGC, best performing ads, still probably to this day, probably one of the best performing ads that you can run for your brand. And we can talk about how we developed the UGC service because that was a nightmare. Headache.
Yeah, I mean, dealing with creators, if you're gonna try to do that on your own, it's like a mess.
Such a pain in the ass.
And like there's other services out there that have done a similar thing to us, but we've figured out a way to kind of make it more efficient, quicker, faster, and have the quality control. Because like if you go other places or you try to do it on your own, it's really hard to control the quality of the videos and make sure that they're coming out right every time.
Yeah. Because we were running UGC on our stores. So we were talking to UGC creators. We were working with these other agencies. So same exact thing over again. We solved our own problems. I went to Naps. I'm like, bro, UGC popping right now. This is the place to be, 100%. We need to have UGC because I'm trying to get UGC from this and this and this, and it sucks.
Solving our own problems again.
It's taken 3 weeks. It costs mad money.
Yeah.
The creators suck. They don't know anything about marketing. They're coming from the angle of like, oh, I have a phone and big boobs, right? And that's basically the angle they're coming from. There's no marketing strategy behind it. And I'm like, bro, listen, we're going to come out with the best UGC package, period. We need 3-day delivery times. We need, best pricing. Like, why can't we do this? Like, everybody else has 2-week delivery times. Why the fuck do you need 2-week delivery times to fucking whip out your phone and be like, oh, buy this product? Like, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And the reason these companies were doing it is because they could get away with it. That's it. And they can't get away with it for long because we're going to commoditize the service. So it's doable to do these things. And biggest pain in the ass, same thing as before. It took us months and months of hiring creators. Did the same exact thing too, where we would actually test products with the UGC creators.
Yeah, which got expensive.
So expensive.
I mean? On all of these innovations, like it costs money to figure that out.
Yeah,
do all this stuff. Before we even had the studio.
The UGC low key like 10,000 plus, like a lot of money.
Easy. Yeah, and we didn't even get to the studio yet.
Yeah, that wasn't even including the studio. This was before that. So that's kind of like an overview of like all the services, the values that we've held for the services for our company. And UGC, I'm sorry to say it, but we have one of the best services out there. And not only because they're proven to convert, but also because we don't fuck around with shipping times. I mean, we don't fuck around with delivery times. We don't fuck around with shitty creators. Like all of our creators are heavily trained. And they're trained to follow a specific structure that I personally use on stores that I manage to make money, period. So your UGC creators might have better camera quality. That might be better personalities. But mine will make more money. Next. All right, now that we touched on the the service and our values and all that, let's talk about the structure of the business. We'll keep this one quick, but I'm gonna let Naps take the wheel because obviously he ran most of this stuff. Super proud.
Dude, it was like really simple. And with your help it was really just like keeping it simple. So 3 things. It was a Shopify store. Google Sheets. Free Google Sheets. And Zapier to automate.
King Zapier.
So, we used the Google Sheets with our video editors, created a system through Sheets for delegation pretty much.
Yeah.
On how to delegate work. And, we'll go into the team, I think, next. But the way that we set it up initially when we had 1 editor, 2 editors, 3 editors, set the foundation to have, as many as we've had. So yeah, super simple structure. And I think we're gonna go into the team right now, right?
Yeah. Next slide, we'll talk about the team. I will say that like at this time, I was running the agency. I was getting into real estate a little bit. Like this was like, early 2020. I think I already had one property at that point. I do everything on Google Sheets.
Yeah, Google Sheets is key, bro.
Everything.
Yeah.
Dude, I take notes on it. I got like, I'm selling my house right now. I got like how to sell my house step by step on a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
Like, bro, everything is done on Google Sheets for me. So when ViralEcomAdz got to the point where we could start scaling it, Google Sheets, right? We can have Zapier bring the order to a sheet and then have the submission order. Like it all worked perfectly with Zapier, of course. All right, that's cool. Just wanted to push the point that Google Sheets is godly. And if you don't use it in your business, 100% have to. It is really godly. There's lots of functions. You don't even have to get fancy with it, man. Just keep it as like Google Sheets. It stores hella data. It's free. It's on the cloud. So if you switch computers, you can look at it on your phone, saves. But let's talk about the team. Because the team for ViralEcomAdz, definitely one of the most impressive things that I've been a part of building. But you had the majority of the responsibility with building the team and managing the team. I don't even really know their names. So I guess you could take this slide. You can talk about the first realization when we actually needed a team, all that shit. So let's start from the first promo we ran.
Yeah. So going back to that first promo we had at that time, it was just like one or two editors.
One editor.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe two.
Yeah. His name was Paul, and I gotta call out Paul because back to what we were saying before, Paul was a winner.
He was the one
from day one.
He was like, when we were like 30, 40 editors deep into testing these guys, we tested Paul. High success rate on his edits.
Huge.
Like when I was testing products with his videos, man, like I don't want to say every single one was a winner because it wasn't. Like that's just part of the game. But dude, it was night and day like compared to the other editors.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this dude was a beast.
Yeah, he was on top of it too.
On top of everything.
Any time, any day, you message him, he's up, he's ready. He's with it, man. He was such a winner. And he was so ready. And, from that point, we knew that, he was going to be the top of kind of like our system,
Top dog.
So after that first promo, we just got like a whole lot of videos and we looked at it. And you called me. You were at Hayden's house. And you were like, dude, like, we need to figure out a team, figure out a structure. Because, like, there's no way Paul's going to be able to handle all of this work.
You called me, bro.
Oh, did I?
You called me.
And I was like, dude, we got a problem.
I think you had I think you had a conversation with Paul, and he was like, "I'm editing like how many videos a day? 30 to 40."
Right. Yeah, he was editing like 30, 40 videos a day.
Yeah, which by the way, these videos take like 30 minutes to an hour to edit.
Yeah,
So
he was working.
He was working more than 24 hours a day.
Yeah, like 7 days a week.
How was he doing that?
And what we found out he was doing was he had a couple other editors helping him. Mm-hmm. So he had the mindset to be like, look, I have to keep up with demand. Yeah. And, he started training his own editors underneath him.
This dude was hiring people for our company before we even asked him to.
Right.
He just did it. Badass.
So then we looked at it and we came up with this structure on, kind of duplicating what we already figured out with Paul on how to train them. And then we put that to work and started building out our teams so that we can have, keep the quality control, make sure that the videos are delivered on time, all of that stuff. And by doing that, setting the foundation, it allowed us in the next couple months, 2, 3, 4 months, to scale. And I mean, like, with the team that we had at our peak 60 employees working for us, which is pretty wild. And to break it down, I mean, we had 3 teams of 10 video editors. Each had a manager to them. We had 2 teams of animators with 5 animators each, both getting managed, and a manager managing the managers.
Managing the managers. That's how a business works, man. Building this team literally taught me how to grow a business.
Yeah. Oh, and you got it pulled up right there, too.
I have it pulled up.
Yeah, so, and we had, like, 5 graphic designers, a team, another team of graphic designers, people watching over the grammar for quality control. It was ridiculous. Yep. And it's really hard to kind of manage that and make sure that everybody stays on track. Mm-hmm. And that work gets done. And, going back to what Noah was saying before, 30,000 videos and one slip up, that means that the system that we
50,000 and one.
And 50,000.
We did 30,000 in a row without one, and then the one happened, and then we did another 20,000.
But that's kind of due to the system that we figured out, and making sure that everybody's accounted for, and all of that stuff. So
let me take a step back for a minute, because I just pulled up one of the pictures that I said I was going to pull up later on. Pulling it up right now. When Anthony called me, he was like, "Man, we got a problem." Like this was like right after the Sebastian promo, right when we were scaling and starting to do like 50 to 100 videos a day. He's like, "Man, Paul is editing this many videos a day. He's got multiple people working for him. What did we pay him that week?"
Oh man, he was making like $3,000.
Yeah, $3,000 that week, bro. This is a dude in the Philippines. 100% deserved it. I'm not saying he doesn't, but that's a lot of money for a Filipino, right? Because their average salaries are like $500 a month, something like that. So this dude was just rolling in money, but he was tired, right? Like he was like, "Dude, there's too many videos coming in."
And going back to the beginning, before we even started, we knew that we had to fix it because we already seen this problem before.
Yeah. So Naps called me. He's like, "Yo, we got a problem. We only have one editor, and we need like 5." I'm like, "Okay, we'll figure this out." So I literally stayed up damn near all night and made this picture. I'm going to try to show it on the screen. If you're listening in, I'm going to talk about it, so you'll be good either way. But I made this picture, which was basically this big plan on how we're going to be able to handle as many orders as needed. That's what it says on the bottom. It says goal, be able to handle as many orders as needed, period. So this was our endlessly scalable system that would basically allow us to hire editors, maintain the quality control, maintain all these different things. And I'll read it to you because this is really cool, because this was created by somebody who is currently living this, so you can see the kind of mindsets that we were in. And I listed out the problems we were having, the solutions, the positive results, the potential negatives. One of the problem was Paul was maxed out. Dude was working so much. Like, I love the dude to death. I don't really know him, to be honest, but I love him and what he's done for us. Super grateful. He's paying editors out of his pocket. He had people below him. Right. We can't let that slide as business owners, because that's stupid, right? Like, why would we pay one employee and then have the employee pay the other employee? We also had no control over the editors. We had no control over the quality, the training, all these different things. Paul could just hire whoever he wanted.
Right.
He did a great job at that. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the control. So if we're pushing like 500 videos a day, we need that control. So if anything goes wrong, we can accept responsibility for it. Scalability relies on Paul hiring and managing employees himself. Another problem. It's another control thing. No big deal. Couple solutions we proposed: paying Paul a salary for managing his own work, with overtime and bonuses. Like, dude, we bless these VAs, man.
Yeah.
We paid them way more than we had to, because we wanted a great team of grateful individuals who put in a lot of work. And we were also making good money ourselves. So why not spread the love and spread the wealth? Obviously, pay editors below Paul directly. Scalability is as simple as adding another editor. That's it.
And that's exactly how it played out.
Yeah, exactly how it played out. So, we ran through all these different scenarios. This took quite a bit of time. And like I said, this laid the foundation for literally how I scaled my agency, because we actually made this before I did my agency. And I use the same exact structure to scale my agency, same systems, and I'm going to continue using those same systems because they're great. Let's talk about quality control, because we had some problems with quality control. Don't want to talk about it, but we're going to, because it's part of building a business. Everybody has problems. We're not perfect. Grammar.
Yeah, so one of the things that we kind of oversighted in the beginning was not having designated people just looking over for the grammar on the videos, because all these editors are from the Philippines. So
I do have a defense. I do have a defense, but keep going.
There can be some of that. So we kind of reused the same kind of a structure where we would have a review process in all of the videos, which was kind of ran through with someone that's checking the grammar, and then the manager of that team was also reviewing the content to make sure that it comes out the right way. But honestly, the quality control was maybe like a couple of weeks of a thing. Yeah. And we were able to implement,
we
and
solved
fix
it very,
that
very fast.
Really quickly, because we were pushing a lot of orders. So if we got a lot of revisions, we started looking at the revision form and going like, hey, these are not crazy revisions, just little spelling mistakes and things like that. So we were able to, see an uptick there and just be like, all right, let's nip this in the ass real quick and, fix this and move forward.
I'm going to be honest, Naps. This really pissed me off. And I'll tell you the reason it pissed me off. Because earlier, remember I said that we're proven to convert, right? We are proven to convert, not proven to be spelled correctly.
Yeah. You were like, fuck
if you want to be proven to be spelled correctly, go to the other fucking companies with those shitty fucking videos who know they have no idea what they're doing. They're just making sure they're spelling your ads right? We know what we're doing. I ran ads with spelling errors on purpose.
I remember that.
I've ran ads with spelling errors on purpose, grammar errors on purpose. Why? Because it sparks controversy, and it makes people want to comment and like and whatever.
It's crazy. It just causes drama. Bro. I remember you used to do that in the ad copy too.
So yeah, if you're asking a marketer and somebody who's actually trying to be out here making money, fuck grammar. Who cares?
Yeah,
right? Like just whatever. But now we're in the position where we're no longer doing this for ourselves. And now we got these people that are like, I don't want grammar, errors in our ads. And they were like, this is unprofessional. This is that. I'm like, go to the other fucking guys then. Yeah. Go to the videographers. Don't go to the marketers. Right. If you want to make money, come to us. If you want the correct spelling, go somewhere else. But I digress.
Yeah.
As a video editing service, we should not have grammar issues.
Right.
We just shouldn't. And I understood that. But at the same time, man, fundamentally, it could make your ad perform better. I'm just saying. Let's talk about our team over in the Philippines and how we actually manage that, because we've been accused of some crazy shit. Like, we've been accused of drop servicing.
Yeah, Fiverr guys.
We've been accused of Fiverr. Like that we would just go to Fiverr and just basically drop service videos.
I think this video is going to let everybody know and have them see that there was nowhere near that.
Dude,
couldn't even possibly do that if we wanted to,
It wouldn't even work. And it would cost us way more money, by the way.
Yeah. So we actually had a full team of 60 people under us, full out systems.
Full time.
I mean, even at the end of that first year in 2020, we had a Christmas party.
In the Philippines.
Threw them a Christmas party.
Yep.
Sent them over money to, rent out a really sick place.
Do we got the pictures? Do we have a picture of it?
We'll throw the picture up for sure. Sick place. And, they had a blast, and it was, like, really cool to see because, from our end, it's, like, real, You see 20, 30 people sitting around, like, and we're employing them, we're helping them live, provide for themselves.
Like, when you're employing people overseas, it's very strange because you just see the money go out and the work come in. You don't think about the people and the faces and the work that they're doing. But, we started looking at these dudes' Facebook pages. Yeah. And they're posting pictures.
Hitting up happy birthday.
Bro, posting pictures like so excited to be working for this new agency, so excited to be editing videos for ViralEcomAdz. And I just looked at this, like, honestly made me tear up sometimes. Yeah. Because they would be posting pictures, them and like 3 other dudes in a row editing videos for us, for our clients. And then their kids would be there too. Like, they'd be hanging out with their kids and just editing videos. And we know that they're making really good money and having a great time. Man, what a fucking good time.
Yeah. Talking about that too, like going back to Paul a little bit, totally changed that dude's life.
Yeah.
Totally. And I'm like, it's like one of the most proud things that I'm like, that's one of those things that I'm really proud about, is to change that dude's life.
Let's be honest though, bro. He changed ours.
Both. It was hand in hand, But I mean, there was one time I saw the conditions that they were living in, and to be able to, he deserved every dollar that he got from us, and still does. He's obviously still with us, he's the man. But, to be able to provide for him so that he could change the direction of his life, his family's life, we were able to pretty much move him out of where he was.
Yeah, they built a sick-ass house.
And he bought land, built a house, and it's like super modern and sick. He tells me, he's like, dude, you and no one want to come by. There's a place for you. And we were like, all right, man.
Yeah, all right.
But
I would go to the Philippines.
Yeah, I would.
We got homies out there, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
We got mad homies out there.
Yeah.
We'll throw another Christmas party. Yeah. But yeah, he built a house. Like, I remember, like, one time that was pretty emotional for you, is like his daughter's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Like, they took this amazing trip to, I think, Mexico, right?
Yeah, he was telling us about it.
It's just really cool,
sending me pictures and stuff. She was wearing a shirt.
Yep.
We sent her a shirt.
Yeah, she was wearing the ViralEcomAdz shirt, bro. Dude. Yeah. That's wild.
That stuff, like, really means something,
Yeah. Really shows, like, not only, the money leaving the bank account and the work being delivered, but, like, these are real people, bro.
Changing people's
lives. And this is why I have so much fucking respect for VAs. Like, one of the things that pisses me off the most and you know this if you follow my YouTube channel, is like if you're one of those people that like disrespect VAs or don't pay them, like you're a fucking scumbag, dude.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Dude, they're straight
Dude.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like we're blessed to be in the States. We're blessed to be able to, you know, have the opportunity to make this much money.
Right.
And I want to give this opportunity to everybody over there. Man, people over there work harder than you. And you don't even know it. All right, we talked about the team, got that out of the way. Hope that was inspirational, and I hope you treat your VAs a little bit better. All right? I'm looking at you, motherfucker. All right. So let's get into the marketing strategies. And we've already talked about this a little bit, so we won't go too in-depth because it's really simple the way that we marketed this business. Influencers, word of mouth, returning customers, email marketing, just basic fundamental shit.
Affiliates was good too. Basic
fundamental shit. We already talked about Dennis White coming in, blowing up the influencers. Straight collabs, man. Collabing with everybody, trying to get them as fast as possible, trying to get them in the best way possible.
Yeah, because at this time, like we were saying before, we had a bunch of copycats. So we knew that people were going to just, keep copying what we're doing and try to go after the same influencers that we were. So we were like trying to jump on it as fast as we could, honestly.
Yeah, like we were running influencers and so were all those copycats, right? So we were trying to get them as fast as possible so that they couldn't. And we are now going to name drop the dudes that we ran. And obviously there's a lot more that we did run, but, because we can't name them all. But
hopefully we don't miss anybody. But
hopefully we don't miss anybody.
This list is brolic.
We're definitely going to miss some people. Yeah. But, anyways, we'll name some of the biggest ones. And it was our goal to work with the biggest and the best and be the most well-known. And these are the people that allowed us to do that. And the reason we wanted to work with the biggest and the best and be the most well-known is because it's a business, bro. Like, this is a real business. This is not a drop shipping store, that you basically just run ads, make your profit, and dip.
Right.
This is a business that, there's real drop shippers, real e-commerce brands, people that need video ads. And when they need a video ad, we want them to think about us. And the only way to do that, like when you think like, oh, I need to go to the store, Walmart, Target, you're thinking of these big brands.
Branding, yeah.
And we need to be that brand for videos, for video ads.
And we're not going anywhere, just to sum that up. We've been around 3 years. We're going to be around in 10 years, 20 years, bro.
Yeah, facts. Big things coming. We'll talk about our vision and what we're going to do with this business in the future because most of this stuff is behind us. But, we'll talk about the future. But let's talk about, we already shouted out Sebastian Georgiou. Amazing dude. Videos crushed it. Hayden Bulls, thank you so much, bro. You've been one of our biggest supporters as well. Yep. Tanner Plains, big homie of mine. I fucking love you, dude. You've also been a great supporter of ours. Now with the digital drop shipping, bro, crushing it. Yeah. We're doing UGC for digital products now. And we're collabing with Tanner on that. So that's fun. Jay Rich, man, lots of video promos with him. Thank you so much. AC Hampton, Scott Hilsey, Ari Shearson, Alex Fedotov. Thank you guys so much. Beast of Ecom, Sarah Finance, FaZe. Man, hearing these names.
Yeah, so many, bro.
Hearing these names, bro. These guys were crushing it with YouTube, man. Even I'm a YouTuber in this space, so I look up to a lot of these guys. I look up to a lot of the businesses they have. FaZe, crushing it with Sweet Dreams. Tan Chowdhury, so many more and counting. And, you guys have helped spread the word, and you guys have helped us build this business, and promise you, I'm going to never forget about it. Like, if any of you guys need anything, you could reach out to me. I'm right here. And if you ever reach out to me to promote your shit, I'm down. The final one. We saved one for last because this one is recent, and we actually
we didn't even know.
Unsolicited. We did not reach out to them. We didn't reach out to them. We didn't pay them. We didn't even put them on our affiliate program.
No affiliates, nothing.
Definitely not one of the most revenue-driven promos, but definitely one of the most proud.
All right, so let me tell the story on this one.
Tell the story.
So I was taking calls, have a Calendly. At the bottom of the Calendly, we have a section that's like, hey, how'd you hear about us so that we know where you're coming from? And at the bottom of it, I'm like, I see Hustlers University.
Ooh.
And I'm like, at the time, I was like, what is that?
Ooh.
So I look it up, and I see this dude, Andrew Tate, on the website right on front. And I'm like, bro, what?
Top
like,
G.
And then I go to you. I'm like, bro, what? First off, what is this? And then two, who set this up? Like, is he in our affiliate? This guy's not even in our affiliate program. We didn't pay him nothing or anything. No. So that comes down to the branding. They started to, we're in Hustlers University's their training program on who to use for video ads, which is like a huge testament to us because we didn't do anything for that. It was just branding.
Yeah,
so
like
they knew beforehand.
Completely unsolicited, bro.
You know, we were the first ones. We are the ones to go to Top G.
Top G.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I'm still looking for the name of the dude that mentioned me. I'm actually not.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you know who that is, or if you are that person, bro, please hit us up.
I would love to say thank you, bro.
Yeah,
and
bro.
get you set up on the affiliate program because
For
you could be
real.
making money from that. Lots of students have been through that, but definitely something worthy of sharing. Like I know Andrew Tate is really, really blowing up right now, and it's kind of funny. Like I love that dude, even though he's hella controversial. Don't agree with everything he says, but whatever. I just flipped the slide.
Our biggest mistake.
Our biggest mistake. No name drop. We've already decided we're not going to drop names, but you guys can probably put 2 and 2 together. Man, this mistake taught me a lot, bro. And this mistake is the reason that the next business I scale is going to be big as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, so this really laid out foundations for me. And this was a lesson that we learned together. This was a mistake that we learned together.
If it's funny though, because if we didn't learn this mistake, we're like faced with a very similar situation like yesterday.
Yeah, literally last night. Faced with an opportunity to correct our past mistakes. And we're not making that mistake again.
Nah, no way.
So let me tell you what the mistake was. So at the time, you guys know we grew with influencer marketing. And it's probably going to be relatable for a lot of people. The most money that we paid a single influencer was $10,000.
Yeah, at the time it was 10 grand.
10 grand. Which, yes, is a lot of money. But how many views were they getting? Like 60 to 100K views?
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, so 60 to 100K views, we were paying about $10,000. And this was like breaking even, but we have a returning customer rate and whatnot, branding, yada, yada. So it wasn't bad. It was good for us. And that was obviously our biggest one at the time, which is a lot of money, but it wasn't as much money as the one that we were about to get. So we reached out to this dude that was getting 300,000 to 400,000 views. Every single video, like clockwork. Boom, uploads 2 days later, 300,000 views. This would have been the biggest influencer we ran by miles.
Yeah.
Miles. And we reached out to them. They wanted to work. They were like, okay, I'll do it. You know, it's not the perfect scenario because they stopped uploading about e-commerce for a little bit.
And they wanted a whole new series.
Whole new series. We were going to have them come back to e-com, the
Right.
great comeback, right? The greatest comeback ever. And he wanted $25,000. More than double our biggest influencer at the time.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me want to just fucking hurl is we had the money.
Right.
Just sitting there. We had the fucking money, Naps. Fuck you. You should have told me, bro.
Yeah.
And
I know,
and
bro.
we were in a moment, bro. This was like one of our biggest months. We made a bunch of money. And
yeah,
you know,
that was at the end of our, what was it, like 160 for the month?
yeah.
It was that month?
Yeah, 155.
Sitting on
like
a
that.
bag.
Sitting on a bag. Just waiting to be reinvested. It was the perfect opportunity. Instead of doing $1 million our first year, I truly believe if we pulled the trigger on this guy and we weren't such pussies, we probably would have done $2 to $3 million that year.
Right.
That could be an overestimation, could be an under. Don't know. But 300, 400,000 views would have made us a lot of money. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of money. If there was a decent conversion rate. And the reason we didn't do it is because we were about to pull money. Right? Like we were about to take distributions out of the business, and I'm buying real estate at the time, you know? So I want the money so I can buy another property, you know? So it was just like a big mistake of like short-term thinking, and it was a weird moment in time. And shortly after we realized we fucked up.
Yep.
Because one of our biggest competitors got them. And once they got them, skyrocketed.
Yep.
Like put them on the map. And before they were kind of bussing, but nowhere near us. And that got him bussing.
Yeah, put them on the map.
That got him bussing. And that's when I realized, like, okay, the 25 grand probably would have been worth it just so that they couldn't do it.
Yep.
Never mind the return that we would have gotten. So crazy mistake. And those are the types of lessons that if you haven't experienced that, you know, small thinking or short-term thinking, if you haven't had an opportunity like that, you can hear it 1,000 times. That's one of those lessons you have to learn for yourself.
Yeah, live through it.
You have to see it for yourself. You can't be told that.
Yeah.
You have to see it. You have to feel the fucking pain. And I feel this about real estate all the time. Like there's so many deals that I wish I bought that I didn't, but that's less painful for some reason.
And the good thing about this is that since we went through it, now that we have this new opportunity that probably can't talk about.
Yeah, like
it's even bigger than that.
The
And
best
we're
thing
like,
is it's not the last
no-brainer.
one. It wasn't the last big opportunity we're ever going to have. And I'm telling the universe, bro, give me another one. I'm ready. Let's blow this shit up. I'm never making that mistake again. Let's talk about the importance of meeting up, because when we were doing one-on-one mentoring, it was all Skype.
Yeah.
All Skype. And we actually didn't meet up until, March of 2018?
No, it was like
March of 2020.
2019.
2020.
Oh, 2020.
2020, right? Because we started September.
Right, in 19.
So we were working together damn near
Almost a year.
almost a year before we met up in person. And I remember meeting up in person, and at that time, oh, dude, should I tell the ad buyer story?
Please.
Please. All right. So at that time, we met up in Arizona. I was like fresh in Arizona, just moved away from Connecticut, got this really beautiful house with a pool, and I'm like, Anthony, you got to come out. This is our first time meeting in person. And this is before we ran our first promotion with Sebastian. This was before all that stuff. So we were doing like 10K a month, somewhere around that range. And like I said, we were not pulling money out of the business at all. Everybody's got bills to pay. So when you don't pull out of your business, you got to get money from somewhere. I was getting my money from my agency. I'm chilling. I don't know about Anthony. I don't know where he was getting money, but we were sitting down on a little lake. I had like a little lake in my community, and Naps over here was like, bro, can I work for your agency? I'm like, huh? You want to what? You want to work for my agency? And, you know, the people that work for my agency make like 3K a month, 4K a month. So it's a good living wage. And I'm just like, man, like that's crazy. Like, I guess it would be beneficial for the cash flow,
Right.
you know, so that we can keep on growing this business and reinvesting in it. But then I'm like, man, fuck that. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time. We have a bigger opportunity.
The thing that stuck with me was when like we were sitting there and you were like, bro, I got a bigger vision for what we're doing right now than this, you know?
Yeah, like I got bigger plans for you, bro.
Yeah.
Just hold your breath. Hold your breath a little bit longer,
Bro.
right? Especially after running Seb. Like, that's when it was like, I told you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I told
it was
you.
almost instant, dude.
Hold your breath. And that's weird, and that's what I mean by the importance of meeting up, because we met up, had all those deep conversations. Like when you're in person, you talk. And it's not like Skype call talk. It's like around the fire pit talk.
Yeah.
It's like in the hot tub
late
talk.
night.
You know, late night, couple drinks in you. You
Thanks.
know, I wasn't drinking at that time. I was under 21. You know, but anyways, shit happens when you meet up with people. And if you're doing business with anybody from across the world, fucking get in the same room. Hang out with each other.
Super powerful.
Sleep in the same house, man. Just do it, because it's almost like every time me and Anthony come together, major growth happens.
Yeah, every time.
It's unexplainable, but if we separate for, 3 to 6 months, of course growth still happens, but it's like when we get together and, actually talk, we have ideas and we execute on those ideas. And it's like there were point in times where we're meeting up in Miami every month.
Yeah.
You know, like last year we were going to Miami every 30 days like clockwork.
Yeah.
You know, and it was lit, but also super beneficial to the business. We went through a lot of changes during that time, and even now, man, I feel it right now. We've been hanging out for the last week or so. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been like how long? 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, last time I was here was February.
Yeah,
But yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen each other, and I'm feeling it right now. Like, shit is happening.
Power of the universe,
I
bro.
do not know how. Like, we literally come together, have all these great ideas. Certain things that we've been working on are starting to work out. I don't know what the fuck it is. But what I do know is meeting up in person and building a community and getting involved with your team is very, very important to do. And we just wanted to say that because that one piece of advice of like becoming friends with your partners, like don't just keep shit online. Get out there, meet people, whatever. Every time we meet up, growth occurs.
All right.
We're coming to the end. We just did another bathroom break. We're back at it now. We got a few slides left, so I know this is taking a long time, but I hope it's super valuable for you guys. If it is, leave a like and subscribe on this YouTube video. And obviously, go follow our socials. Like, go support ViralEcomAdz, bro. We're a great company. We care about every single one of our customers, care about our services. I'll drop Anthony's socials and all the descriptions and my socials and all that good stuff. But let's talk about the level up. And the reason I call this the level up is because this, to me, was taking ViralEcomAdz to the next level, where we're not just an editing company and we start doing, custom content and, going in the direction that I feel like most video editing or content companies go in. And I don't know, if you want to talk about this, you can take the floor. I can add on to what you say. That's fine.
Yeah, so just like again, going back on like innovating, we were never really okay with just being stagnant. And we felt that, towards the end of 2020, we were like, hey, we should get into custom content. And in order to do that, we actually got a warehouse out in Long Island where I am. And, we built a whole filming studio. So we had like a full out kitchen, bedroom, living room, gym, bathroom, everything that you could possibly need. And really like invested in ourselves a lot, thousands and thousands of dollars to build that
tens,
out.
Bro, tens of dollars.
Yeah. So, we saw that as being, the next step for us as a company, as a brand.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what we did. And putting ourselves in like uncomfortable waters to do that, not something we're familiar with, and just being like, fuck it, send it, let's figure it out, and we'll take it from there. So,
man, the most important thing, custom content performed really well.
Yeah, it did.
We started testing around with it. And earlier on, we said that, when the whole drama bullshit was happening with Sebastian's promo, we weren't doing custom content back then. But what did we say?
It got right on the list.
Right on the list, bro.
Right on the top.
It's on the list.
That's 6 months later, that's when we signed the lease. And we were like,
that's
hey.
the direction we're going in, right? So the goal of that was to start working with higher quality brands. Right?
Yeah,
because
doing a little bit of transitioning away from drop shippers, or at least like
I wouldn't even say transitioning away.
High end, like
adding on to it,
established. Yeah, true.
Full service,
true.
Like we've been working with mostly drop shippers. Like that's when we say 20,000 customers, most of them are drop shippers, and we want to work with brands that are actually pushing hella numbers, and we've done that now. And this is the way that we were able to do that. We built a studio. And we built a production team, and we got
videographers,
executive directors,
actors, all of that stuff.
And the content was fire.
Yeah,
the content was amazing, and I loved everything that we did there. We signed up some amazing brands, worked with great brands, even scaled some brands, bro. Like this one brand we took on, we scaled from 30K a day to like 80K a day. They pretty much did like $2 million in 1 month with our content, which was crazy. But we did basic video editing. We tried product images. We tried we were doing everything. It's like we had the studio, we had the team, just pushing out hella content and trying to figure this thing out. And man, like this whole thing was a major learning experience, and it's something that we're going to revisit 100%. But we're going to do it better next time. And the reason I say revisit is because we actually shut down the studio now.
Yeah.
So
year and a half later.
Yeah, year and a half later, we don't have the studio anymore. And you want to tell them why?
Yeah, I mean, the main reason why is because at that time we were like just making custom content, like video ads. And we started to see a shift not only like into TikTok, because TikTok started to become a thing, but like UGC in general.
Yep.
And we started to realize like, hey, we can make UGC without needing to have this whole overhead and all of this team and, this huge studio and all these costs that are associated with it. So while we still had the studio, we were kind of figuring out a way to get ourselves out of it in a sense.
Bro, I think what happened fundamentally, we need things to be proven to convert. And fundamentally, we need demand in the marketplace. And in order to create demand in the marketplace, we need shit that works. And I think production value versus conversion, there's a discrepancy there.
Definitely.
If your video is too professional, if your video is too good, it's not going to convert as well. Like, it's great for branding, it's great for getting impressions, it's great for like brand awareness, but for conversions,
too polished is not good all the time.
Yeah, like too polished is not the greatest. So, coming from the fundamentals, the basic ads worked for the right scenarios. But we started transitioning to UGC. And the way that we started with UGC, like before we did it, or this was after the point we did the remote UGC, we were like, let's try in-studio UGC. Right. And this was like where the in-studio, in-house UGC came from, was we actually had local UGC creators that we would bring in-house, train them, and then have them make high production UGC. And this was horrible. Like, just being straight up, we had the most beautiful UGC you could think of. Just picture like amazing UGC, amazing shots, amazing audio, camera quality, the whole nine. And obviously people loved it. The brands loved it. Our customers loved it.
Surface level is very appealing.
Very appealing. But the thing is, if you go back to the fundamentals, if you have a very high production value UGC it's no longer UGC.
Right. You can tell.
It's no longer UGC. And literally a girl with a phone, or a dude, like a girl or a dude, normal person with a phone and, shitty quality, shitty audio performs better most of the time.
Yep. And we figured that out.
Yeah. So eventually we were just doing remote shit. Like, yeah, we'll just send you the product and you just make the content on your phone and obviously follow our strategies, but, do things in the best way possible without being too professional. And that's what ended up working. That's what ended up getting the result and actually making money. So what's the purpose of the studio if all we need to do is just whip out a phone?
Yeah.
This is the natural progression of content. And it was a way that we had to adapt from, the mindset of like, we need to make high quality, high production value content into what actually works, which is just whipping out your phone.
Take a step back.
Yeah.
And just do what works.
Exactly. So Studio 2.0 is coming, and it's coming heavy because it's not going to be just a studio. We'll get into that later. All right. Studio 2.0 is coming, though. We're not done with the studios. Maybe for a little bit, but definitely soon. We're going to start planting the seeds to come back heavy. Importance of investing in yourself. So obviously we didn't do this journey 100% alone. Like, I've had mentors, we bought courses, but this one particular course that we joined that really, really changed the trajectory of this whole business. It got us from thinking like $1 million entrepreneurs to thinking like multi-8-figure entrepreneurs. There's a key difference because when you look at the way you start a business, the way you structure a service, the way you structure a team, everything we do now is built to be way more scalable. And the reason is because we invested $36,000 into a course that taught us how to do it. And that sounds scary to most people. And I know a lot of you people out there are, spending that amount of money on a course is unfathomable. But if you think about it, you're investing in yourself. And how long do you think it took us to make that 36 grand back?
Maybe 3-4 months.
Yeah, maybe. And that's not even off of the money that we were making in general. That's the money we were making specifically off of the things in the course.
Right.
And then after that, we basically make that like every couple months now, just off of the shit that we do in the course, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal, but it was a very good turning point. And obviously 36 grand is a lot of money for a course and some training, but it was 100% worth it. And I think it's worth, noting and talking about, because a lot of people try to build businesses 100% on their own. It's not the greatest thing to do. All right, our current focus. This is what we're working on right now. And I just wanted to add this in because it's a good timestamp. Like, a year or two from now, we're going to look back on this video. I do want it to be an evergreen story, which, it doesn't really have anything to do with what we're doing right now. And I'm sure that we'll have a new story to tell in 2 or 3 years. But what are we focused on right now? So our current focus right now is basically working with a lot bigger brands, doing UGC, and actually organic marketing. Organic marketing is massive for e-commerce. And again, the only reason we know this is because we're on the front lines. I see this shit happening every day. Organic marketing with TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts is probably one of the biggest opportunities for e-commerce right now. And we've proven that out. It's one of the best ways to, get views and get impressions and get ad spend free conversions. It's great. So we're going in that direction of trying to work with brands, making UGC at high levels so that they can do massive volume of split testing, which is what works from our experience. And then actually doing organic marketing. And we are crushing it, man. We've grew 3 pages to multi-million views over the past month or so.
Yeah. We've had a couple of brands, generate from nothing on TikTok, brand new TikTok page, no experience there. Millions of views within the first 3 weeks or so, less. So that's one thing we're doing now. It's focusing on, basically getting brands results, right? Like that's the whole thing. That's all we've done this whole time. And also setting up collabs again. We've taken a year and a half break, maybe a year and a half break from running influencers and doing collaborations. And I feel like part of the reason we did that was because most of our collaborations started to feel like reminders. And what I mean by this is the industry of e-commerce and drop shipping is fairly small. And I feel like the majority of people that we were reaching are people that have already worked with us, already heard of us, so most of the ads just turned into reminders. But it's been enough time. We're coming back, baby. The comeback.
We're coming back heavy. We're coming back heavy. I'm starting to reach out to the hella people. And if you're out there and you're watching this, and I haven't reached out to you, reach out to me. We're looking to work with people. We're looking to do collabs. It's how we grew our business. Definitely grateful for everybody that's helped us so far. And I personally think that drop shipping is making a comeback.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Because NFTs came around and everybody kind of, drop shipping kind of slowed down. But now the NFTs are dead as fuck.
Yeah. There's a shift happening. in the next 6 months or so, there's a shift happening. Big
shift. And we want to be on the front lines of it. So those are basically our two main focuses right now, is like starting to work with brands and also running up the collaborations again. It's good. I think the business will do very, very well. But let's talk about the vision. Let's talk about the direction that we're heading in, what we're trying to accomplish, where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, a big aspect of that is going to be UGC. I don't think UGC is going anywhere. Anywhere fast. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to be focusing on that. But, like, getting back to having a really solid team of creators. Mm-hmm. In-house creators, not any of this middleman stuff.
We're still on the mission of being the best UGC company in the world.
Yeah, and we will be. It's just a matter of time.
We might already be.
Yeah.
But we're going to get better.
Yeah, we're here. So, that's our main focus right now. And, we're going to be the top company for everything.
I don't see why not, bro. I think a lot of people in this space, and I might just be talking shit, but I think a lot of people in this space are coming from the perspective of, videographer, editor.
Yeah.
This type of space, and we're not, bro. Like, we literally own the space. We are going to dominate the space. And the reason is because we're focused on results. And we come from that background. So that's obviously one of our goals. Just be the number one, bro. We want to be the best.
Powerhouse.
Help us be the best. We need you to be the best. If you're watching this, we need you to be the best. Help us be the best. Studio 2.0. I said that we were going to talk about this. And I want to put it out there because I know it's going to happen, and I want to kind of predict some things that I think are going to happen. So I think the number one thing that we fucked up on with the last studio was we did it in Long Island. Middle of nowhere.
Location.
Middle of nowhere, man. So the next one, 99% chance it's going to be in Miami. And the reason is because Miami is a powerhouse for e-commerce. Lots of people doing e-commerce down there. And the next studio is not only going to be a film studio. We also want to turn it into a workspace like WeWork or something like that, where people can come in and just sit down and work and network with other e-commerce entrepreneurs. And, of course, use the studio. Maybe we'll let people take, their own content in the studio or rent the studio space out. Or they can buy one of our packages and then watch the content be made for their brand. We can make this amazing workspace, this amazing little community in Miami, and 100% get a podcast room. Yeah. ViralEcomAdz needs a podcast, especially with all the collaborations we've done, all the great people that we've worked with. I would have loved to have interviewed everybody like Ari, Seb, like all these guys that have amazing stories. Would have been great to hear their stories and share it with you guys as well.
Drop a lot of value.
Talk about our strategies. Shit, me and Anthony could just hop on and talk some shit every now and then, The last one, and I'm pretty sure that this was like a late night conversation or a late night thought, but this is a very long-term goal for ViralEcomAdz. Pretty certain that we're going to hit it. Don't know 100% how yet. I can see the progression and how we could grow in the direction of doing something like this. But when I see ViralEcomAdz and I see like an end goal, what I see is, basically producing a Super Bowl commercial. That to me is like very elite level of content production. And if we can take an e-commerce brand, make their UGC and then make them some custom content and then grow them to where they're big enough to where they can afford this level of marketing and produce our first Super Bowl commercial, I think ViralEcomAdz could produce a Super Bowl commercial in the next 5 to 10 years. And I don't know if you know this, but it's incredibly competitive space, incredibly expensive to do. You need to have a crazy team, crazy connections. I think we can do it. And that's on our vision board. All right, so that was pretty much the whole story, bro. How's it feel?
Great, man. It's nice to get it out, bro.
Bro, finally got it out. We've held back so much of this shit, and
it's been
obviously
so underground, bro.
A lot of my close friends and a lot of the people around me have heard, little snippets of the stories, but it's good to put it all in order and kind of run through everything, all the lessons we've learned, all the things that we did right, wrong. And obviously there's a lot more to this. Like, this is all we could think about, over the past few days just planning this out. So maybe there'll be more. Yeah, really great. I hope it was incredibly valuable to you. If you want to join our mission, there's a few things that we want to promote. Obviously, we've taken our time to share this whole story with you and give you the value. The least thing that we could ask to do is for you to simply share this video. Like, I feel like there's a lot of lessons in here. I feel like we've accomplished something decently great. Like, I'm never complacent, not too proud, trying to be humble about it as much as possible, but also want to show that, you know, there's real lessons to be learned here. So if you know somebody who owns a business in this range, shit, even if somebody has built a bigger business than this, maybe they can find value out of this video. Share it with your friends. Tag it on your Instagram stories, post it on your feeds, do whatever you can to get as many people to watch this video as possible, because we want to get the story out there, and I think it's incredibly valuable for people to hear. Next thing, check out our website. If you own an e-commerce brand or an e-commerce store, I think we've said enough in this video to at least show you the fact that we know what we're doing, and it might be worth it for you to take a look, right? Nothing too crazy. I don't want to promote anything. I don't want to tell you what to do. You can make your own judgments, but you know our values. You know the kind of things that we've done. So go check it out. And go give ViralEcomAdz on Instagram a follow, because it, you know, just helps us with social proof and whatnot. Same thing with ViralEcomAdz Studio. That's our studio division where we work with brands, do organic marketing. Sadly, don't have the studio anymore, but the name remains, because we will have a studio again. We have an affiliate program. So if you are, like I said, if you have a YouTube channel or a blog or a course or anything in the e-commerce space, and we can collab with you in any way, 100% reach out. We are open to collaborations with anybody, and we're trying to collaborate with as many people as possible. Like, not to spam people, but because we want to be involved in the industry. We want to be the leaders here, and you can help us do that. So there's nothing much more coming to mind on what we can talk about on this business, so I guess that we'll end it here. But I would like to thank you for spending the last 2 hours or however long this has been with us. Hope it was helpful. Definitely leave your comments in the comment section. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about this story, because I think it's great, man. This is one of the best businesses I've grown so far. Super proud of it. Super proud to continue growing it, bro. Like, we're not done yet.
Not done.
Not done.
Dude, just
honestly,
getting started.
Just
honestly.
getting started. Like,
yeah.
3 years into a business is just getting started. Even though it's been crazy what's happened so far, I've been in 3 years. We sit down at the same podcast table and tell another one.
Yeah.
You know, tell another one about the 2.0. So if that's all that we got, and not, you know, you can't think of anything else, then we'll end it off here.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. Thanks for spending the time with us, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Like the video, subscribe, share with a friend. Peace.
Yep.